Hi, everybody. We are going to be going over our ecosystem CFAs, starting with models. It's always important to look over our grading scale before we start doing our CFAs so we make sure we get everything in it. In order to get a level 3 for your ecosystem models, you need to be able to develop a model and use it to explain the cycling of matter and flow of energy through an ecosystem. And you can use a model to explain how energy is transferred between producers, consumers, decomposers, and the non-living components. To take it to a level 4, you need to develop a model and use it to explain how the amount of energy changes in the food web. So let's look at some examples that you guys created. First off, this is a level 3 model for a couple reasons. Number one, we have our energy source, the sun, and you can clearly see how the energy is transferred to our producers, which are my microbes, and then transferred to our primary consumers, brine shrimp and brine flies, and then energy is transferred to our birds, which would be our eared grebe. Everything's included. It's very clear and easy to see where the energy is being transferred. A level 4 model would be taking it to the next level. Again, we still have our non-living energy source. This brings energy to our food web, but it also includes how energy is lost through the food web, including how it's lost along the way. Okay, next we're going to talk about ecosystems and constructing claim evidence and reasoning. For our grading scale, it says I can construct an argument using evidence, which is data, to support the claim on how components in an ecosystem will affect that ecosystem. To make that a level 4, you would need to create a claim with evidence that shows how changes in one population in one ecosystem changes the stability of another ecosystem. Again, we're going to look at some examples you guys created. This is a level 2 claim evidence and reasoning. So it says, the flood affects the salinity of the Great Salt Lake because when more water is added to the salinity, it decreases. This affects the population by decreasing the amount of microbes and adult brine shrimp. I know this because archaic microbes' salinity tolerance is about 20 to 30%. The cyanobacteria microbes' salinity tolerance is under 20%, so not a lot will grow. The adult brine shrimp salinity tolerance is 10 to 30%. There is more water added because of the runoff on the mountains rain and end up in the Great Salt Lake and rivers. This has really good data. They cited their data in complete sentences. The reason why this is a level 2 is because they didn't complete input their reasoning and explain how the increase in salinity affects all the different populations. Okay, here's a level 3. The claim says if a Great Salt Lake was to gain more salinity, that means the microbes and brine shrimp will die, leaving the birds no food. This is a level 3 claim because not only does it include directly who the salinity affects, but also the secondary consumers. I know this because the data showed that brine shrimp cysts are low because their numbers are 3 to 10%, which means they won't hatch. And then it goes on to cite data about microbes. And then they explain why each of the salinities are important. To get a level 4 on claim evidence and reasoning, if there was ever a flood at the Great Salt Lake, the food would go off balance, and the organisms would die if there's not enough food. So this is a level 4. They cited their evidence from the data chart using numbers, which is important in complete sentences. But right here at the end, it says, my evidence supports my claim. The brine shrimp and the floating microbes would get and would go to a different ecosystem, and there would not be enough food for the predators or consumers. So it's talking about how if the predators consumers don't get enough food, they'll move to another ecosystem, which could affect other populations. And that is our brief overview to get you ready for your CFA. Please make sure to take your time. Using color on your models is always a good idea. And don't forget to cite data, okay? It needs to have numbers. Data, in this case, definitely includes numbers. Good luck!